Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, Jay-Z Courtside, coming at you today on March 1st, Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Hope everybody's having a phenomenal start to their day. I hope your basketball team won last night. Welcome on in, everybody. You guys already know what we're doing in today's episode, but let me break it down for y'all anyways. Now, remember, I know a lot of people have been missing the segments like would you rather, or true or false, or is this news, or any of those, right? Those will be returning when the second round commences, all right? There's just way too many games, right? There's no way I can cover 3 games and have time for a B block, because then these podcasts, I don't know anybody else that does 2-hour podcasts. I don't do 2-hour podcasts, but I don't know anybody else that does over an hour long podcasts. Did I say March? I said March 1st, didn't I? May 1st. Sorry. My apologies. Thank you, Twitch chat. I don't know anybody else that can do that long of podcasts solo. So there's just no chance we'd be able to do B blocks with 3 games. So when round 2 starts, we'll be also adding the segments. We'll be adding them in the B block, just like how we did throughout the entire regular season, because I know how much you guys enjoy those segments. Today, though, we have a very fun show for y'all, because today's the first stream where we are saying goodbye to 2 teams, the Denver Nuggets and the Atlanta Hawks, and 2 very different teams, 2 teams in very different situations right now. So be sure to stay tuned for that, because we're not starting with those series. In fact, we're starting from the complete polar opposite, because as the great Zaza Pachulia once said, I didn't pull up the clip, Zaza Pachulia, Game 7. I'm sure you guys may remember what I'm referring to here, but in case you guys don't know, the 2 best words in the English dictionary are none other than
nothing easy. Nothing easy. We're going to Game 7, baby. Game 7. Game 7.
Shout out to Zaza Pachulia, because we got a Game 7. Ladies and gentlemen, the Philadelphia 76ers survive in Philadelphia, defeating the Boston Celtics in what I could not predict. This was unbelievable. Final score 106-93. Now, where to unpack this? How should I start unpacking this? Do I start playing the blame game like a bunch of other Celtics fans are doing? Or should I start with what the 76ers did right? Should we start with the Sixers, ladies and gentlemen, what they did right? Or should we start with the Boston Celtics and what they did wrong? Because I assure you, what the Boston Celtics did wrong is a lot more than what the Philadelphia 76ers did right. I think what we have to do, I think we gotta show love to the city of brotherly love. Let's start with the Philadelphia 76ers. What they did immediately to start this game was to sort of like test out how the Boston Celtics are going to play. It was pretty evened up. It was 23-20, Boston's lead at the end of the first quarter. And the Philadelphia 76ers, I'll be honest, right when this game started, I said, you know what? I had the Boston Celtics winning tonight. But it was the second bucket that Joel Embiid got, where it was that and one on Keita, where he was falling and hit the and one. And I saw the bench of the 76ers, and I said, whoa, do y'all see? And I even said it in my Discord server. I at my biggest Celtics fan in there, and I said, yo, bro, did you just see the bench for the 76ers? I might have to change my mind. And at that point, the game was only, I think, 4-2. But when I saw that bench, and I saw everybody jumping up and screaming and dancing and showing off from Joel Embiid's second bucket, I said, uh-oh, wait, it might be over and the game just started. And, well, I think I was right. I was right to change my estimation there. I didn't have Philadelphia winning this. I would like to say I did not have them winning this. But what I saw, and I think we just got to go in order, because their bench gave them virtually nothing except for Andre Drummond. Because I felt Andre, and I'm glad the plus minus doesn't lie here. Shout out Pistons legend Andre Drummond, because when he came into the game for Joel Embiid, you could easily say that they're going to lose those minutes. But Andre Drummond on the glass, right, was unbelievable. He had 7 rebounds, one of them offensive, and that was a big offensive rebound. I'm sure you guys saw that. On Garza, Tyrese Maxey missed 2 shots, and then on the third attempt, Drummond went for the offensive rebound, dribbled once, put his meaty-ass shoulder into Garza, and just went for this little baby hook. And right there, I was like, yep, that's Andre Drummond. In 13 minutes, he had 2 points. That was it. That one bucket that he had, that was it. 7 rebounds, one of them offensive, 1 block, and he was a plus 10 on the field. Or sorry, plus 10 when he was on the court. And he hit that 3 as well. Did they take that back? Yeah, he hit a 3 at the end of the third quarter, but they took that back. It was still on his fingertips. I was wondering why he only had 2 points. But what I saw, that was it. That was it. That was their entire bench progress. They did not have any other benefits off their bench. It was just Andre Drummond. So shout out Dre. He was the quickest one I got to talk about. So we're just going to end that topic there. We're going to start from the top with Kelly Oubre Jr., okay? Kelly Oubre Jr., listen, man, when he's locked in, I don't care that he's missing his threes. He's 1 for 3 from deep. I don't care that he's missing his threes because what he's giving you on the defensive end, bro, he had 2 steals, 2 blocks. And both of those blocks, mind you, were big blocks. Like, swung the game. I'm sure you guys know what play I'm talking about. Joel Embiid did this behind the back pass from the low elbow to Kelly Oubre, got this dunk. And then on the other end, the Celtics tried rushing the ball. All of a sudden, Kelly Oubre with a huge swat. And then Paul George running the fast break behind the back pass to VJ Edgecombe. He gets a dunk. Timeout. Game was over right from there. The 76ers came out in that second half and just was firing away. They looked so different than how they looked in that first half. They looked like, you know what? We want to win this game. And right from there, ladies and gentlemen, it was so much fun to just watch. Like, to see Kelly Oubre Jr. give that amount of effort and passion was great. And to see how many open backdoor cuts, that was even better. How many backdoor cuts did Kelly Oubre have? Did VJ Edgecombe have? Did Paul George have? It was absolutely unfreaking believable. And you know whose fault that is, right? At least who's mostly to blame for all those backdoor cuts? Jaylen Brown. Who else can you blame other than Jaylen Brown? He was giving them all up. He was inviting everybody to score in the paint. And, well, the 76ers said, yes, please, thank you. Now, as far as Paul George goes, we got to stop and talk. Paul George, man. Paul George. He had 5 threes, and each of them were more difficult than the last. When Paul George in 2026 is going off of screens and pulling, you should be worried. You should be worried. But that's not even the craziest part. I think his best 3 was when he had Tatum on the wing and stepped back into the corner and drilled the 3 over him. The best part of Paul George wasn't even the fact that he dropped 23 points last night. He also had 3 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block. It was his defense. It was his defense. I know y'all saw what I'm talking about, bro. He played good defense on Tatum, but Tatum just hit tough shots. And then Jaylen Brown, man, looking absolutely lost when Paul George is defending him. I did not have it in my bingo cards that Paul George's defense would level up even more in year what? Year 15? What year is Paul George in? Year 15 probably, I think. You know what? I got to check. Year 16, even better. Year 16 Paul George, and his defense has peaked. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Paul George was my MVP of this game. I know Tyrese Maxey had 30 points, but to see Paul George do what he was doing on the ball, off the ball, and defensively, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. And I think Sixers fans should be thrilled about this because they only hit 11 threes. They only hit 11. So it's not like they emptied the clip. You know, it's not like they did that. They played their game and they won. Joel Embiid, it all starts with this man, bro. And I would like to say, first and foremost, I was hard on Joel Embiid this year. But I also said for the Philadelphia 76ers, in every game that Joel Embiid returns, the Sixers look flat. They look horrible. Every single time Joel Embiid returns, they look horrible because they have to readjust to him playing. But I said, and I quote, and you guys remember all season long, when Joel Embiid plays 2 games in a row, that's when you start seeing the full strength of the Philadelphia 76ers. And just like this, in his 3rd game in a row, The Philadelphia 76ers are playing well. He is bad in the first one, amazing in the second one, and now good in the third one. And that has been the story of the Philadelphia 76ers over the last few years. To see them play this well with Joel Embiid not even having a great game. He was 6 for 18 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3, 19 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. And that's the biggest component that I'm referring to. He couldn't really score last night. He couldn't really do what he wanted last night, but he was setting everybody else up. And that is when Philadelphia is at their best. That is when they're at their best. VJ Edgecombe did his thing, bro. 14 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Incredible. 5 for 11 from the field. And then Tyrese Maxey. Have y'all noticed how efficient he's been since Joel Embiid's returned? Tyrese Maxey, respectfully, I think you can all agree with me, has been butt. He's been butt for the last maybe month and a half. He's been butt. He's been butt. He has been bad. He has not been good. He's been inefficient, lackadaisical with the ball. He has not been good at all. And last night, 30 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals. You know what the best statistic is? 0 turnovers as a point guard, as a ball-dominant point guard. 0 turnovers. He was hitting pull-up 3 after pull-up 3. He was hitting you know what the best part of Tyrese Maxey's game is? You know what the best part about Tyrese Maxey's game is? That he improved upon last year. The way he's able to seal off a defender when driving to the hoop. He's never done that before until this season. And I think that's low-key the best thing. Yes, his three-point shooting. Yes, his pull-up shot. The way he's able to seal out his defender when driving to the hoop and looking controlled. Have you guys noticed last year? Go watch Tyrese Maxey from last year without Joel Embiid. Go watch Tyrese Maxey. He wasn't strong enough to seal out his defender. So last year, you know why Tyrese Maxey was one of the worst players at finishing at the hoop? Because he would just use his speed and just go for whatever layup he had. He would just sprint and just go up for a layup and pray to God he makes it. Every time. This year, however, methodically, and honestly, he might have watched Cade Cunningham, Jalen Brunson, and every other big guard like Shea and what they do to get to the hoop. Even Luka. He slows down. Like he gets that initial burst to get in, like within the perimeter, and then he seals his defender. He's got him on the hip, and now he's got an automatic floater every single time. He got bigger, he got stronger, he got more controlled. And that's why Tyrese Maxey has improved so much. It's absolutely incredible. And I've been preaching it all year long. I've been preaching this all year long. Maxey's going to be burnt out before the playoffs come. And he was. I just told y'all, he was absolute butt cheeks for the last month and a half. He has played the most minutes by a player in a season since Monte Ellis in 2011. Joel Embiid comes back, and all of a sudden, Tyrese Maxey, he's efficient. He looks good. He's not huffing and puffing and leaning on his knees. He's looking good. Nothing from the bench other than Andre Drummond. Now, the biggest takeaway from all of this is that they forced a game 7. They're heading back to Boston. And honestly, I don't know who's going to win. We all know the Celtics are going to be favored. But I genuinely don't have a prediction on who's going to win this series. I don't know. And the Philadelphia 76ers, for the first time, how many years have we heard? How many years have we heard? Even in my prediction episode for how this season goes, every time you talk about this Philly team, how do you start talking about them, ladies and gentlemen? How do you start talking about them? It always starts with one word in particular. It's a 2-letter word. If. If Joel Embiid is healthy. If Paul George is healthy. If VJ Edgecombe can play the way that we expect him to play down the line as a rookie. If Tyrese Maxey can improve his jump shot, improve his handle, improve his driving ability. If. Ladies and gentlemen, this might be the first time ever we've been saying if for the 76ers, and it's a real thing. We might have to start saying when, but it all depends on what? Health. I'd say something for the Philadelphia 76ers fans to stay a little bit more hopeful about Game 7. You guys haven't had a hot shooting night. You haven't. You shot 43% from the field last night and 33% from three. You haven't had a hot shooting night. Did you save your hot shooting night for game 7? Very real possibility. Every team gets one hot shooting night, unless you're the Pistons. Every team gets one hot shooting night. Maybe game 7's yours. It's one game, chat. Once you come back from a 3-1 deficit, it's one game. Do they have enough left in the tank for that one game? We're going to find out. Now on the other side, the Boston Celtics. We got to talk about them. If you've checked Twitter in the last 12 hours, and you're a Celtics fan, stay off of Twitter. Genuinely, just don't go on Twitter anymore. I'm seeing some crazy outlandish takes. And I'll just say this. This is why the Boston Celtics lost. Are you ready? They didn't hit 23s. That's why they lost. That's why they lost. I've said this all year long. They rely on 3-point shots, and that's it. If they hit their threes, they win the game. They shot 12 for 41 from 3 last night. You're not going to win a basketball game for the Boston Celtics if you're not spamming threes. And you spammed them. You took 41, but you only made 12. And that's the biggest issue. If you shoot 29% as a team, the Boston Celtics, I want you to show me one game this season. They shot 29% from 3 and 1. I want you guys to find me what that, if Celtics fans, if you guys are determined to prove me wrong, even though none of my Beantown boys are in the stream today, I want you to prove me wrong. Show me one game this season that you guys won a game against a non-tanking team when you shot 29% from 3. Listen, where do I start? I think I'm going to just go in order. Jaylen Brown. Hey, man, what do you want me to say? Do I say what I said about him in the Discord last night? Jaylen Brown, ISO, dribble for 20 seconds, ball hog, stiff arm, foul bait. And then you want to talk about, I'm the best two-way player in the NBA. How many backdoor cuts? I should have counted. How many backdoor cuts did he allow? Just how many backdoor cuts did he allow? He genuinely did not play defense tonight. He genuinely was not looking to pass at all tonight. 2 assists. 2 assists. He had 18 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. Get ready for this. 5 turnovers, 4 fouls. How many offensive? I think 3 offensive fouls. He got called for 3 offensive fouls because of that stiff arm. He shot 7 for 17 from the field. Listen, man, I've checked Twitter and I've seen some people put this on Jason Tatum, bro. And I just want to say, y'all, anybody who does that, y'all don't deserve Tatum. And they're saying ever since Tatum came back, this team is unrecognizable and that we're losing, right? Listen, y'all, I'll tell you exactly how this is. Jaylen Brown is scared that this isn't his team anymore. He's not King Kong anymore. He's got to be the guy. He's been the guy all year. He's going to be the guy in the playoffs. And his ego is hurt right now. He wants to be the guy. Well, Jaylen Brown, I apologize how I'm going to say this. This is Jason Tatum's team. I think we can all understand that. We know you got here a year before. This is Tatum's team. And the fact that out of the entire starting lineup, the only player that showed like they wanted it is the guy that got hurt in the third quarter, his left calf. He said he's okay. He had 17 points. This is Jason Tatum. 17 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 6 for 13 from the field. Tatum scored 9 points in the first quarter. He was hot. 9 points in the first. And then Jaylen Brown, he needed to get his 10 points in the third quarter. And then he went 2 for 7 in the third quarter. So all in all, this battle, this hierarchy dispute between Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, this is not going to bode well for this team. Now, I was having a real conversation with my Boston Celtics fans in my Discord last night, and I said, did you guys genuinely believe that you had a chance at winning it all this year? And a couple of them said, yeah, I did. After we played well and we got Tatum back, yeah, I thought we genuinely had a chance to win it all. And I was somewhat I kind of felt bad for them, right? Just like how I feel bad for a lot of Pistons fans that thought they were going to win it all this year. Because you have to understand your basketball team. Because the opponents that you go up against are going to understand your basketball team. You got to understand your basketball team as well. Sam Hauser's been non-existent in the playoffs. Sam Hauser's been getting attacked over and over and over again when he's on the court, which is why I don't understand why Joe Mazzulla's had him in. Derek White has been abysmal all series long. He's been probably the second most disappointing player in all of the playoffs so far. Peyton Pritchard's getting attacked. 6 for 16 from the field, 14 points. I say Jordan Walsh and Baylor Shireman should not be getting less than 20 minutes per game. I don't know why Baylor Shireman's barely playing. I don't know why Jordan Walsh is barely playing. Hell, I'll take Hugo Gonzalez over Sam Hauser right now. I'm not even lying when I say that. The way I'm watching this team collapse, they don't have a real center. Neemias Queta is good. He's a good role guy. You know who Neemias Queta would thrive with? Luka Doncic. He would thrive with Luka. But with this team, you need a spot up, and he's not a spot up. The Celtics can't win without a spot up center. That's where their whole offense sort of thrives, especially with Tatum on your team. So all in all I can really say is they're going back to Boston in game 7. I don't know who's going to win. I don't know who's going to win. I'm going to go ahead and end the TikTok. So if you guys want more stream, be sure to come through to the Twitch stream, Jay-Z Uncut. We're still continuing the show. And as you guys all know, they traded for Vucevic, and he has been abysmal defensively, so they can barely play him. They can barely play him. Now, I don't really know, man. I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is here. I just don't know. Yes, Scar. Thank you for the 80 cents on TikTok. I appreciate you a lot, bro. Thank you for spamming a bunch of gifts on TikTok. Much love. And thank you for the bits over here on Twitch. Much love, bro. All Celtics fans need to remember is if you guys can hit your threes, if you guys can decide that you want to play effort on defense, you have a chance at winning game 7. Now, what that means for the next round, if you play against the Knicks, sorry to tell you guys, but the Knicks were my pick to come out of the East this year. I don't think you can do it. I don't think you can do it, man. I don't. How can I end this segment off? I don't know who's going to win in game 7. Tomorrow's the game. I don't know. I don't know who's going to win. I'm excited, but I just don't know who's going to win. Who am I rooting for? I'll be honest. I will never root against Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey so long as they're not against my Pistons, and I don't think they're going to. So I got to root for the Philadelphia 76ers. I have to. Joel Embiid is 0-3 against the Boston Celtics. I always typically root for the underdog, and you'd be lying to yourselves if you said anybody had Philadelphia taking this to 7. Even my Philly fans, they said it was over in 5. I'm an honorary Beantown boy. My Celtics fans know that. I just ordered a Jason Tatum jersey. I love Tatum as a guy. I love him as a player. He's one of my favorite players of like this modern generation. But there's nothing more I love than watching a success story. And I highly encourage you guys to go read Joel Embiid's memoir from last summer. Please go read Joel Embiid's memoir from this summer. Please go read that. You will understand why I'm rooting for the underdog in this series. You will understand why. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to move on. Now, I have a question for you guys. How would you like me to break down these next 2 series? So obviously we have the Nuggets-Wolves game, and then we have the Knicks-Hawks game. Do you guys want me to break down both of those games and then say goodbye to the Nuggets and Hawks? Or do you want me to like break down the Nuggets-Wolves, say goodbye to the Denver Nuggets, and then break down the Knicks and then say goodbye to the Atlanta Hawks? How would you guys prefer? Say goodbye to both teams at once, or break down the game, goodbye to that team, break down the game? Okay, you guys, okay. I think separate is probably going to be a lot cleaner. So let's go ahead and start with the more entertaining game from last night, and that is the Minnesota Timberwolves, or I'm calling them the Hospital Wolves, finish off the Nuggets in a 6-game series. Final score 110-98. Where do I begin? You know what? I know exactly where I'm going to begin. You guys know what kind of podcaster I am. You guys know what kind of person I am. You guys know what kinds of basketball that turns me on. There was a statistic that I saw that was so incredibly interesting. And it was, what was it? It was no no team in the NBA playoffs have ever won a playoff game. Not playoff series, playoff game. When they're without 3 of their double-digit scorers. They were missing Anthony Edwards, who averages double digits in the 20s. They're missing Ayo Dosunmu, who's averaging double digits, and they're missing Dante DiVincenzo, who's averaging double digits. No team has ever won a playoff game when they're missing 3 guys who average more than double-digit points. Ladies and gentlemen, I got one word. I got one picture. You ready? One word, one picture. And that's Jaden McDaniels. Jaden McDaniels. I know they probably will lose to the San Antonio Spurs. And that's a high probable rate. But we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this. I don't want to talk about the Nuggets right now. We're going to say goodbye to the Nuggets in a second. I got to talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves. They got Jaden McDaniels, and, well, they showed it last night. Jaden McDaniels last night, after talking all that smack all season long, had 32 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. He shot 13 for 25, and he only sat on the bench for 4 minutes, and he backed up every single word. Now, we got to talk about it. What I saw, so first and foremost, Terrence Shannon Jr., I'll get to you in a second. You know what lineup I fell in love with? Watching this game, I truly fell in love. Did I mess up my lower thirds? I think I did. You know what? You know what lineup I truly fell in love with? The 3 big lineups. Did you guys see which one I'm talking about? It was Mike Conley, Terrence Shannon Jr. Or no, my apologies. It was Terrence Shannon Jr., Jaden McDaniels, Naz Reid, and Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert, right? Am I dumb? Hold on, bro. It was Mike Conley, Jaden McDaniels, Naz Reid, Julius Randle. All right, whatever. It was Randle, Gobert, and Naz Reid. That lineup. That was sexy. And you know why it worked? Because Naz Reid was never truly a big man. He grew a bunch. I think it was his college. Yeah, it was in college when he grew like 10 inches in height. And he was always a guard. That's the reason why this works. It's because Naz Reid at the 3, he's not a good defender. But if he's against like who? Spencer Jones? Who cares? Yeah, it was Terrence Shannon, McDaniels, Naz Reid, Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert. That's who it was. Yes. First and foremost, that's an average height of 6'9" in a starting lineup. Maybe 6'10". Do y'all understand how ridiculous that is? Do y'all understand the height difference between that and what the Nuggets were running? It was a thing of beauty, right? It was a thing of beauty. Jaden McDaniels, he backed up what he said. And you know what? He didn't say anything that I didn't say all year. What did I say all year, ladies and gentlemen? Please quote me, because you guys know. Listen, at the start of the season, my prediction before a single NBA game was played, I said the Nuggets played that offseason so well. This is the best roster they've ever had. That's what I said. And I said Denver is my favorite to win the NBA championship. Now, injuries, lapses throughout the season, all of that. That could have played a part. Sure. That could have played a part. No Payne Watson, no Aaron Gordon. That could have. But what I saw 2 weeks into that NBA season, and I said, wow, their defense is abysmal. I said, never mind. I'm changing. I'm going back to the Thunder. I'm going back to the basic answer. I changed it a week into the season because no team who's ever been a bottom 10 in defense has ever won an NBA championship. So why would I believe in the Denver Nuggets can do something that no team has ever done? Defense does win championships. You have to have a competent offense, but defense does win championships. And the Denver Nuggets don't have a competent defense. They had an elite offense, but when their defense is that bad, it doesn't cancel each other out like people think. When Jaden McDaniels said they're all bad defenders, I want you guys to go watch this game back. I want you guys to to watch this game back over and over and over and over again. Chat, over and over again. Terrence Shannon Jr., Jada McDaniels, they were all attacking Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. They were all attacking him. Somebody in the TikTok is saying, cry about it. Cry about what? I'm not a fan of either of these teams. Well, I'm a fan of the Wolves, but they're not my team. Why am I crying over this? I'm talking about the NBA. I'm breaking it down quick. What are you talking about in the TikTok, bro? Phil Jackson, I see you over there in the TikTok stream. Come through to the Twitch, bro. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch, man. Come through. I'd like to just say this as well. How many pull-up jumpers did Jaden McDaniels hit over Jamal Murray? How many? I lost count. Every minute that Jamal Murray was on the court for the Nuggets, it was a negative. Jamal Murray not only shot 4 for 17 in a do-or-die game, but he was getting hunted. Is Jaden McDaniels, bro, last night, he was looking like Kevin Durant. I got to be honest. And I know it's funny. Oh my God, Moose just said the same thing in my Twitch stream. I got to be honest. Those pull-up jumpers that he was hitting, he looked like Kevin Durant. He looked absolutely unguardable. He looked absolutely unstoppable. What he was doing last night, he looked like Kevin Durant. He was just attacking whoever he wanted, pulling up over whoever he wanted. And he was using his height last night. He was looking incredible. It was a lot of fun to watch. But it goes to show you how bad their defense is with Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, and they attacked it. Didn't matter who was in the action. They were going at those same two guys over and over and over and over again. Terrence Shannon Jr., his first ever start in his NBA career, he got a career high. Ladies and gentlemen, this team gave up 3 career highs. That's how bad their defense is. And I was preaching that all year long. It's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. And for anybody, because we're about done talking about the Timberwolves, Jalen Clark, I loved his energy off the bench as well. It wasn't Bones' night, but that's okay. I love Jalen Clark's energy. All in all, what I have to say about the Timberwolves, because they are going to be facing the San Antonio Spurs, and I'll talk more about that next week. All I'll say is, go look up Wemby's worst games this season. Go look it up. His worst performing games. You know who 2 of them were against? Do you guys know? It was the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm not saying I smell an upset. Without Anthony Edwards, without Dante DiVincenzo, without Ayo Dosunmu, whenever he gets back, it was against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And you know what's funny enough? TikTok and even the Twitch chat think I'm talking about Rudy Gobert. I'm not. It's Randle. I'm not talking about Rudy Gobert. I will talk about Rudy Gobert in a second. I'm talking about Julius Randle. We found out this year that Wemby's biggest struggles right now are the big, brolic power forward centers. We've talked about this. Isaiah Stewart's, Julius Randle's, these big, stocky 6'9", 6'8" power forwards that you see in the NBA. Those are the guys. Zion walked him too. That's right. Those are the guys right now that Wembanyama struggles against. Now, do I think the Timberwolves are going to win? No, I don't. I don't think they're going to win. But Jaden McDaniels ruins De'Aaron Fox's night. He did that all year. And Julius Randle makes it difficult for Victor Wembanyama. All I'm saying is, people who are saying Spurs in 4, I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you. They're going to need Anthony Edwards. They're going to need Ayo Dosunmu. They don't have enough shooting against this team, even though the Spurs can't shoot well either, but they're going to be doubling Wemby a lot in the paint. So with Ant coming back, all I'm saying is the Spurs have no experience. The Spurs went, I can guarantee you this, and you can take this shit to the bank. And I said this the other day. If the Spurs go down 20 at any point throughout the series, they're not doing what they did against the Blazers. They're not coming back. And guess what? They went down by 20 plus twice in their last series. If they go down to 20 against the Minnesota Timberwolves, they're not coming back. They are not the Portland Trailblazers. That's all I'm saying, y'all. That is all I'm saying. The Spurs have to play perfect basketball and make sure they don't go down by 20 plus. Otherwise, yikes, it might get a little bit scary. Now, before I move on and talk about the Nuggets and what's next for them, I want some apologies. I demand apologies, actually. Not for me, but for Rudy Gobert. I demand apologies. If you ever disrespected Rudy Gobert and you made me defend him this year, I demand an apology. Genuinely. Say it in chat. I'm not even a Timberwolves fan. And I have had to defend Rudy Gobert like he's my husband. The way I've had to defend this man is like I owe him my life. And I don't. He's not. The Timberwolves aren't my team. I have talked so highly about Rudy Gobert all year long. And people are trying to still discredit him. People are still trying to discredit him, saying, Jokic had a bad series. Yeah, he did. Because who was guarding him? Who was guarding him? I swear, the kids hear Shaquille O'Neal or all the cool guys say Rudy Gobert sucks, and then they just run with it. You know what my favorite part about Rudy Gobert is? Not even his defense. It's his playmaking as a center. Go watch last night's game. Go watch it. Rudy Gobert had 8 assists, 13 rebounds, 7 of them were offensive, and 10 points. He was throwing dime after dime after dime after dime, finding the open guy in the corner, finding the open guy in the wing. Every single pass that he hit in the corner, it was like the game-sealing shot. It was the shot that put the nail in the coffin multiple times. So when I tell y'all, Rudy Gobert is the most valuable player on this team, I mean it. This team without Rudy Gobert, even with Ant, even with Julius Randle, they're a playing team, and I'll bet my soul on it. Rudy Gobert is their literal heart to this team. You go as far as he takes you. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not saying Rudy Gobert is a better player than Anthony Edwards. I'm not saying that, so don't twist my comments. I'm not saying that he's better than Anthony Edwards, but he is for sure more valuable to the team than Anthony Edwards is. Because when he's in, he's got the highest plus minus in the entire NBA. In the entire NBA, he's got the highest plus minus. Let's go ahead and look at Jokic's numbers throughout this series. Jokic shot 44% from the field and 19% from three. Again, that's 44% from the field and 19% from three. Those are Danis Jenkins numbers from three. Is Nikola Jokic as bad as Danis Jenkins in the playoffs from three? Like he is shooting Karis LeVert numbers from three. That's what y'all need to understand. And why was he taking all of those shots? Because Gobert wouldn't let him in the paint, man. Gobert was not letting him in the paint. You're telling me you shot 19% from three in a series on 6 attempts per game? 6 attempts per game, right? That's what you're trying to tell me? You shot 19% from three on 6 attempts per game? Yeah. Yep. So, you will acknowledge Rudy Gobert for the defensive powerhouse that he is. You will acknowledge Rudy Gobert for being the anchor of this Timberwolves team. I had to defend this man all year long, and I'm so happy it paid off. I'm so happy it paid off. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I move on to the Nuggets and say goodbye to them, I would like to say, TikTok, if you guys are enjoying today's stream, do what my homie Phil just did. Come through to the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio. Come through. I will gift you a $6 subscription so you don't get ads on Twitch. If you just watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, it's a much better viewing experience over here, y'all. I'd love to see you guys come through to the Twitch stream, join the Discord, because we're hosting a watch party tonight. In case you guys ain't got anything going on Friday night, we are hosting a watch party tonight with the Pistons facing elimination in the Kia Center tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you guys want to get involved and watch that game with me, watch that game with my community, hang out, vibe out, make some new friends, feel free to join the Twitch stream. link in my bio, or just look up Jay-Z Uncut on the Purple app and join our Discord server so that you can hang out with me and hang out with everybody else, make some friends, and enjoy some hoops with some ball knowers. I'd love to see you guys come through. Let's go ahead and move on and say goodbye to the Denver Nuggets. All right. Now, where can I start? Let's go ahead and start saying goodbye to the Denver Nuggets. And I would like to say real quick, Cam Johnson had his best game of the year, 27 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. He did his thing. He hit 5 threes. Nikola Jokic, 11 for 19. He tried. He almost got a triple-double. Spencer Jones, he was okay. Wasn't really good defensively. Christian Brown, we'll talk about him in a second. Jamal Murray, 12 points, 4 for 17 from the field. Not a good night. Tim Hardaway Jr., you had a career year. Good job. Bruce Brown, you couldn't tap into what helped them win the championship. Jonas Valanciunas, Zeke Naji, it's just, every minute that Murray was in the game, it was just bad, bro. Steamy, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. We will be covering the Knicks in just a minute. All right. Shout out to you for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream, Steamy. I appreciate you, bro. That's a W name. For real, guys, I'd love to see more of you come through to the Twitch stream. Again, that's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. The link to the Twitch stream is in my bio. I'd love to see you guys come through. Now, let's go ahead and talk about what the Denver Nuggets have to look forward to this offseason, okay? So they own their pick in 2026. They also own their 2028 pick, their 2030 pick, and their 2031 pick, meaning they have 4 future first-round picks, okay? That's a lot. That's a lot, chat. That's a lot of picks. 4 first-round picks over the next 5 years. That's a lot of picks, okay? Now, let's talk about their team, because this is where it starts to get scary, all right? Nikola Jokic, he's fine. He's secure. He's got his player option in 28. He's fine. Jamal Murray, he's locked in as well. He's making $50 million next year to go 4 for 17 in a do or die game. He's making $50 million next year. So right there, your top 2 guys are making $109 million next season. I got to repeat myself. Their top 2 guys are making $109 million next season. And then you have Aaron Gordon, who's making $32 million. He was injured all year. And what's sad is, because we do have to talk about Aaron Gordon, he's never going to be the same player he was. He's injury prone now. He can't stay on the court. I don't know how many, I got to look at how many seasons in a row that is. That's the last 2 seasons. He played 42 games in 2024-25, and he played 36 games this season. What's sad about Aaron Gordon is that he has the most value from any guy on their team, other than, of course, Murray and Jokic, but they're not moving them. Aaron Gordon has the most value from anybody on this team. And to move him, it's going to be tough because he's got all his injury problems. So as much as I love Aaron Gordon, it's going to be very difficult to move him. It's going to be very, 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 very difficult to move him. Kai, I said that on the 3rd week of the season. Yes, I do acknowledge how important Aaron Gordon is to this team, but what we saw in the playoffs, that was not Aaron Gordon. Now let's continue. Cam Johnson's making $23 million next year. $23 million. Jonas Valanciunas is signed for another $10 million. Zeke Naji signed for another $7.5 million. And now this is the kicker. Christian Brown. There were multiple plays last night that had me put my hands all over my face because I couldn't believe what I just watched. He had open layups, didn't take them. He passed them up instead. He was losing the ball uncontested. He had in 28 minutes, 3 points, 1 rebound, 3 blocks, 1 turnover, 1 for 4 from the field. This is a horrible, horrible contract. He's making $21 million next year. He's making $25 million in 2028, 2029. That means 4 years from now, he's going to be making $25 million from the Denver Nuggets. Now, if the Nuggets have any hope of continuing this core, they have to move Christian Brown. Now, the issue with that is, ladies and gentlemen, nobody's going to take Christian Brown and his contract unless you package it with what? Picks. How many picks do you think they got to give up to get off of the Christian Brown contract? They only have 4 They only have 4 future first round picks. I don't think one's going to do it. I don't think one pick is going to do it. You might have to package 2 of them. So that's a scary, scary sight, because you know why that's scary? You can't bring Peyton Watson back. Peyton Watson, arguably the most crucial player to this team all season long. You can't afford to bring him back. So all in all, this is to say, if you can't move Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, you're losing Peyton Watson. Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to be a free agent. They still have Deron Holmes. Bruce Brown's going to be a free agent. They still have Julian Strawther for 1 more year. This is tough, man. This is tough. You have to decide what you're doing with Jamal Murray. I don't think they're going to move him. They're not going to. So you have to decide what you're going to do with Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown. Otherwise, bye-bye to Peyton Watson. And he's the most promising player in Denver right now. So as we say goodbye to the Denver Nuggets, what's next for them? They're going to have to figure out what they're going to do in order to keep Peyton Watson. Because if they can't keep Peyton Watson, he's going to thrive with another team. They have to figure out what's next. They need defense. With Jokic and Murray, you're not going to have that defense. The NBA has changed. If your 2 best players can't play defense, you have no chance of winning at all. And I hope Lakers fans hear me, because I preach those 2 teams had no chance of doing anything in the playoffs because of their defense being so horrendous. The only way they're going to be able to move Christian Brown is if they attach a first-round pick to it. And because the Nuggets are probably going to make the playoffs no matter what, you're probably going to have to attach 2 first-round picks. So offense may win you a couple games, bro, but I still stand by what I say. Defense wins championships. But that defense has to have a competent offense. You can see the Detroit Pistons right now struggling. You can see the Orlando Magic right now. You can see the Toronto Raptors, the Houston Rockets. These teams that don't have competent offenses, no matter how good their defense is, offense will always overpower defense if your defense isn't competent enough. So I think that's next for the Denver Nuggets. What more can I say? What more can I say about that? I think that's all I got for the Denver Nuggets. Now, final game from the last night. This one's going to be quick, and I'm glad I called this right. This one's going to be quick. The Knicks beat the Atlanta Hawks in a very, very normal game. Nothing happened with this game. Nothing. It was a completely normal game. Completely normal game. The Celtics barely inked this one out. The Knicks barely inked this one out. They won by 51 points. Now, I remember saying last night, not last night, yesterday morning during yesterday's show, I remember saying the Knicks are going to dominate them in this game. And my Knicks fans were saying, Jay-Z, stop. That's not going to happen. We never dominate. We're not good at making statements. And I said, no, they're going to dominate them. I didn't think they were going to beat them by 51, bro. I did not think that. When I said dominate, I thought they win by 20, you know. I thought 20 was a fair bet. After Nickeil Alexander-Walker hit this 3, the Knicks went on a 71-16 run. Listen, guys. Listen. There's not much I can say on this game. I said yesterday that the Hawks gave up after they got their second win, and I was completely right. The Hawks gave up. They attacked CJ McCollum. Jalen Johnson wasn't giving them anything. Nickeil couldn't get anything going. I said the Hawks were fully content with taking 2 games, and they did. They got their 2 games, and then they just stopped playing basketball. They stopped caring. And with that being said, the Knicks move on. Doesn't surprise me. I have the Knicks coming out of the East. I've had them come out of the East since before the season started. They're the best team on paper, and yeah, I mean, that's really all what more can I say about this, y'all? Cat was great. OG was great. He had 2 triple doubles this series, which is incredible. Jalen Johnson's going to have to get stronger. He's going to have to believe in a shot a little bit more. There's no way you can get iced out in a series being guarded by Josh Hart. There's just no way. So, shout out Knicks, bro. Knicks tape, we back. We back, second round. They will be versing the winner of the Celtics 76ers series. Now, that's pretty easy. There's really not much I have to talk about. Bro, you had a game, 24 points for Mikal, 29 for OG. All efficient shooting, by the way. Mikal was 10 for 12. OG was 11 for 14. Cat was 1 for 4, but he had 12, 11, and 10. Josh Hart even had a good game, shot 60%, 14 points, 5 rebounds. Jalen Brunson didn't have to really do anything, so good for him. 17 points. And then their bench, they all just poured in. The Hawks couldn't score. That was the biggest problem. They just couldn't score. Their leading scorer was Jalen Johnson, 7 for 15. That was pretty much every game he had this playoff series. He was a minus 43 on the court. Jonathan Kuminga was a minus 44 in 23 minutes, which is absolutely asinine. That's crazy. Yeah, the lowest plus minus from a starter on the Knicks was a plus 35. Shout out to the Knicks, man. They played great. Knicks tape. Beautiful game. Again, TikTok, if you guys are enjoying today's stream, be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream. That's JZ Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio. And I've said it. Cat should have been the best player in the series. And I think overall, I still have Cat as my best player from the Knicks this series. He was perfect. He just wasn't shooting enough. And that's not really his fault. It's just, Brunson's ball hog tendencies fault, Mike Brown's fault. And I will put some fault on Cat. He needs to demand the ball. If he really wants it, he's got to demand for it. Not just call for it, but Cat was the best player of the series, and I said he would be. I said before, you guys, I love being proven right. Like, as much as I love being proven wrong, I love being proven right. Because I said Cat would be the best. And I'm happy. I'm really happy because this is good momentum going into the second one. And OG was great this series as well. You could argue OG. You could argue it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about what's next for the Atlanta Hawks. Now, this one is much brighter and happier than the Denver Nuggets. Let's talk about the Atlanta Hawks, all right? Let's talk about the Atlanta Hawks. What's next for Atlanta? Atlanta, stand up. This is a great season, man. This is a great season. Y'all got a top 3 pick coming to y'all's way. Shout out Joe Dumars. Shout out Troy Weaver. Shout out the New Orleans Pelicans. Shout out Leem. Shout out Gail Benson. Shout out the state of Louisiana. Y'all got a top 3 pick coming your way. You also got another first round pick. You also got another first round pick in 2027. You also got 2 first round picks in 2028. Or sorry, 1, I think. You got another first round pick in 2029. You got another first round pick in 2030. You got another first round pick in 2031. You got another first pick in 2032. You got over 6 first round picks over the next 5 years. The Atlanta Hawks are rich. They're rich. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens for them this summer. I think that their GM, Ansi Salah, should have got the executive of the year. I don't think it should have been Brad Stevens for getting them under the apron. I think it should have been Salah because he traded for Tingus Pingus. It didn't work. He traded him back. He traded for, he got Luke Kennard. He traded him. He traded Trae Young finally and got CJ, who helped them. I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited to see what they can do this summer because the Atlanta Hawks are going to be good, man. They're already good. And you know what's even funnier? You can look at their contracts right now, and it's happy, 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 happy. Woo. Let's go ahead and look at their contracts. CJ McCollum, he's off the books. He's off the books. Jalen Johnson, $30 million next year. Jonathan Kuminga, team option at a $24 million. My guess is they're going to waive that $24 million team option, and they're going to give him an extended deal. I'm thinking a 3 or 4 year deal. So I think Kuminga will say, yeah, forget that $24 million. Give me a longer deal. And I think they will. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, great steal, 14 million. He was horrible in the playoffs. We'll see if that changes next. Honestly, that would leave a bad taste in my mouth. Just like Jalen Duren having a horrible playoffs. This would leave a bad taste in my mouth. Nickeil Alexander was horrible in these playoffs. It was bad. Onyeka Okongwu was great. I just don't think he's a starting center, but he's great. 16 million next year. Corey Kispert, he's still on for 14 million. I expect him to get moved. Zachary Richache, bro, he couldn't even play in a 50-point blowout. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. I don't want to say anything. I feel bad. Gabe Vincent, he's off the books. Buddy Hield, $10 million next year. He didn't play. They'll probably move him. And this is where it gets even more complicated. Dyson Daniels is making $25 million next year. I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I don't love it. Too much of a contract for my liking, for the kind of player he is. He's any guy who's like, good at defense. And the crazy part is he's not crazy good at defense. And I think Hawks fans will agree. He's just good at reading passing lanes and poking the ball from guys. He's good at moving his feet laterally, but he gets out-muscled by anybody that's like a little bit stronger than him. So I still like Dyson Daniels, but I think 25 mil is a little bit too much because like 25 mil, that means like, what would you pay a Thompson twin, right? Like what would you pay a Thompson twin? You'd pay them probably 30 million if I were to guess. If Dyson's making 25, you'd probably pay him 30. That's my guess. But yeah, he couldn't guard Brunson. I think Nickeil guarded Brunson better. So what's next for the Atlanta Hawks? You might wonder. Well, you honestly don't have to do much this summer. You don't. You don't have to do much. Thank Joe Dumars because y'all got a free pick. Hopefully y'all don't waste it again like on a player like Zachary Richache. But y'all got a free pick. Start organizing the roster a little bit more. See if you can bring back CJ. See if you can bring back some more vets for this team. Because this team is too young. They don't have enough veteran leadership. So bring in some vets. Bring in some other young guys. They have a lot, man. They can get Giannis if they truly wanted. I don't think they should. I really don't think they should. Don't do that. But they got a lot of assets. And I think with those assets, they can build a really strong and confident basketball team. So this is very different from the Denver Nuggets because they don't really have to do much. Like when I show you guys their books for next season, it's sort of insane. Like when you really look at their books compared to all the other teams in the NBA. In fact, I'm going to show you guys next year, the Atlanta Hawks they only have 127 million committed. Like look at the Chicago Bulls, 90 million committed. And half of that is to Patrick Williams. So they are in the best position possible. The fact that they only have 127 million locked up, they can do whatever the hell they want next summer. Damn, the Pistons only have 104 million locked up. Well, that's because Duren comes off the books. Tobias comes off the books. Herter comes off the books. And Asar is eligible for an extension, so that makes sense. But yeah, that's that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Atlanta Hawks, your future's bright, man. So what's next for y'all? Whatever the hell you want. Whatever the hell y'all want. I'm really excited for you guys. Now, real quick, stud of the night from last night, because this episode is dragging. The stud of the night, there were a couple candidates. I got to give it to the man who talked shit and backed it up, and that's Jaden McDaniels. I don't think anybody deserves stud of the night more than Jaden McDaniels. He put the Nuggets away. He got rid of them. Jaden McDaniels in 45 minutes of play, scored 32 points, 10 rebounds, 4 of them offensive, 3 assists, 2 steals, a block. He was a plus 16, 0 turnovers, and was looking like Kevin Durant offensively and Tony Allen defensively. He was 13 for 25 from the field, killed Jamal Murray all night, wore him down, attacked Jokic. Incredible game, incredible series for Jaden McDaniels. I loved it. It was a thing of beauty. Now, we got 3 games tonight, y'all. We got 3 games tonight. We got Pistons Magic. Pistons are somehow favored by 3.5 points in the Kia Center. Now, over the last 3 seasons, the Orlando Magic are 8-1 at home. The Pistons haven't beaten them in the playoffs this year in the Kia Center. The only win that they've given up is to the Boston Celtics. Can the Pistons win Game 6? Now, if the Pistons win Game 6, they're winning in 7. They are. But that's the biggest issue. Tobias Harris and Kevin Huerter are both questionable for the Pistons. The Orlando Magic are missing Franz Wagner. The Orlando Magic just used their hottest shooting night of the series. I told you guys, every basketball team use it. Every basketball team in the NBA, every year without fail, they all get one hot shooting night. The Magic just had their hot shooting night. and they lost. They had 17 threes. That's good news for the Detroit Pistons. If you survived that offensive onslaught from the Orlando Magic as well as Paolo Banchero, you have a serious chance at finally getting your hot night. Will it happen on the road? I don't know. I don't think so. Will your role players finally step up? I don't know. I don't think so. Dennis Jenkins has been shooting 20% from the field and 10% from three. Karis LeVert has been shooting 35% from the field and 20% from three. Tobias Harris, as great as he's been, is shooting 16% from three. If Tobias just has a night where he hits 3 threes, 4 threes, if any of those threes go in, as long as he's playing tonight, the Pistons take it. Paolo won't do what Paolo just did. Cade won't do what he just did. But I think Cade's got higher chance of doing what he just did than Paolo does. It's going to be a fun one. If you guys want to watch this game with me and the rest of my community, be sure to come through to the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. We watch these live in our Discord server. We're going to be doing a watch party tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. So we'll see what happens, man. If they win tonight, if the Pistons win tonight, Game 7 will be back in Detroit, I think at 3:30 in the afternoon. And if the Pistons win that game, they have to play on Tuesday for the second round. So it should be interesting. But I'm not going to count my chickens before they hatch. They got to get the game tonight. They need something from Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren has to do something, bro. Jalen Duren has to do something. Cade Cunningham's averaging 33 points on unbelievable efficiency in this series. It's crazy. It's crazy. Hopefully they can get it done for my sake. All right. Up next, the Cavs are back in Toronto, and the Cavs are favored by 3.5 as well in Toronto. Toronto's won both their home games this playoff series. But I think if Ingram's not back tonight, I think I got to give it to the Cavaliers. I know Ingram's been horrible all series long, but at least you can use him as a decoy. At least you can use him as a decoy. If they don't have Brandon Ingram, that's one less decoy. I know the Toronto crowd is unbelievable, and they always ignite when they're at home. I got to go the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think the series is over in 6. I'm sorry to say that, but it wouldn't surprise me if it can go 7. But if Ingram's not back, then yeah, I think I got the Cavs. I think I do. I think I do. The game is tonight. So for my Cavs fan that doesn't watch his own team, he said series is over tomorrow. They play tonight, my friend. So that's the intelligence level of a Cavs fan, ladies and gentlemen. Never mind. I got Raptors winning tonight. Game 7 on Sunday. Let's get it. Last game of the night, we got the Lakers versus Rockets. Okay? Lakers versus Rockets. You said tomorrow. Lakers versus Rockets. Rockets are favored by 3.5. Now, this is where it gets interesting. This is where it gets interesting. The Rockets are back home in Houston. They're back home in Houston. They've won 2 in a row. And they're without Kevin Durant. Are the Lakers going to be the first team ever to choke a 3-0 lead? I don't know. They better get it done tonight. I know it's in Houston, but they better get it done tonight. Otherwise, it's scary. If you have another bad game from Austin Reeves, another bad game from everybody offensively and defensively, no, Luka's not playing the playoffs. It's going to get very, very scary. It's going to get very scary. There's going to be a lot of crazy takes. We'll see what happens. Rockets are favored. I think I'll give tonight to the Rockets as well. But I think I'll probably take the Lakers in 7. This is crazy that I'm saying that. It's not crazy. The Lakers suck, but the Rockets also suck. So it's just who's going to suck more tonight. That's sort of like what the Pistons Magic series has been. Who's going to suck more tonight? You know? And all it comes down to, by the way, in that Pistons game, I didn't mention it. The Pistons just got to limit turnovers. That's all. If the Pistons win the possession battle every single game this season, whenever they win the possession battle, they win the games. So it all just depends on if they don't turn it over. And of course, Kevin Huerter's questionable. Tobias is questionable. It should be interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Should be interesting. But Lakers, Rockets, give me the Rockets by 3.5. I think the Rockets are going to win, but I think the Lakers will put them away in 7. It should be interesting, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, guys, that is a wrap. Remember, TikTok, come through to the Twitch stream. Podcast listeners, come through to the Twitch stream. Join the Discord because we're hosting our watch party tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. The only place you can do that is by joining the Discord server. The link is in the Twitch chat, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's all I got for y'all today. That's all I got for y'all for the week, all right? So, guys, I think it was a great week of NBA basketball. It was a lot of fun. I want to see y'all in the watch party tonight, okay? Twitch chat, be sure to stick around for just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's going to do it for the week. If I don't see y'all this weekend, because I probably won't, I will have known if my Pistons are eliminated or not. Their game is tonight. Game 7, if they win tonight, would be in the afternoon on Sunday. If they win, I said I will do a shoey on stream. So if they win tonight and then they win in game 7, I will be doing a shoey on the podcast and on stream. I said it in the watch party. I'll say it again for everybody to hear me. That is a guarantee. All right. Go Pistons. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's all I got for y'all this week. That's all I got to say. Except for thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And as always, guys, thank you for watching / listening. Go Pistons. And I'll see you guys Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern.